8 national parks and 33 wildlife refuges along the Gulf of Mexico could be threatened by the oil spill. That's according to National Parks Director Jonathan Jarvis. He is helping coordinate the government's response to the spill. He spoke at a hearing on Capitol Hill.
We are at 100% of our planning level in terms of protection of Gulf Islands National Seashore, to protect predominantly the wetlands and estuaries and seagrass beds that are on the backsides of the islands.
Jarvis says teams of scientists have been deployed to assess conditions in the national parks in the Gulf. Those teams, he says, are also looking at the possible impact, short and long term, of the dispersant that BP has been using. The oil slick has now entered the loop current that runs from the Gulf of Mexico to the Florida Keys and up the east coast of the U.S., Jarvis says. The region has the third largest barrier reef in the world. Tortugas National Park is at the southernmost point of the Keys.
We think that for the South Florida parks, Dry Tortugas, Big Cypress, Everglades, and Biscayne, it is predominantly going to be a tar ball event because the oil is weathering.
That means oil tends to lose toxicity as it travels, and he says tar balls are less toxic. Jarvis says the government has been working closely with BP to better understand how the oil changes as it moves through the Gulf. But some of the worst damage is already underway. Dense areas of deep coral that have taken hundreds of years to grow are located under the oil slick. Scientists from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, are assessing the situation. Kaki Andrews is NOAA's manager for coral reef conservation. Pointing to a map of the region, she says there are deep and shallow corals throughout the Gulf of Mexico.
They're all over the place, and that's what makes the Gulf of Mexico such a rich place for fisheries, and that we are essentially underneath where the sheen is appearing right now.
She says coral tends to be the main habitat for many fish.
These are the habitats that provide really valuable places for the fish to essentially get together, to aggregate, to spawn. So they're the basis of the fisheries. And so, it's an important piece of the economic engine of the fisheries of the Gulf of Mexico. So, but also as these places are just remarkable in and among themselves. Some of these things are possibly over 4,000 years old.
Andrews says the extent of the damage is unknown because the spill is unprecedented.
Coral reefs only make up about 1/10% of the ocean floor, but they provide habitat for over 25% of the marine species.
For the moment, uncertainty rules the day. For producer Zulima Palacio, this is Carolyn Presutti, VOA News.